feel like we're some kind of travelling circus at times, Brian. I'm just back from a big dance event in London, and you're just back from
Krakow in Poland.
Yes, that wasn't work.
That wasn't work.
No, it was good.
It was good. Managed to travel without having to work, which was great. Not that I
good.
dislike travelling for work.
And we didn't know, because I think if we'd known, somebody would have given Brian a camera and tasked him with pretty much
shoot.
filming. Yeah, they go and find a dance school. You're going to need to learn the language, go and find a dance school and do a shoot. But no, we've been all over the place. I was at Move It down in London. It was the craziest it's been. It was like 400 stalls. Never mind people.
Is that right?
And it was at times about 2,000-3,000 deep at the stage. Like Caitlin, who's our social media person, was messaging me saying, "Oh, go down the stage and get a little bit of footage." I could get nowhere near it. It was crazy. It was their 20th anniversary.
Oh, right.
And they'd kind of pulled out all the stops for it. So yeah, it was very good. But
nice.
Keeping in the same vein as dance, the interview we're about to go into is with
Hazel from the Scottish Dance Awards,
indeed.
We
are sponsoring the Scottish Dance Awards. This is the announcement for that. I think it'll probably be out there already. But yeah, we are the main sponsor of the Scottish Dance Awards. We're delighted to be involved with it. It's going to be in May at the Radisson Hotel. You'll hear us talk about it on our socials between now and then, an awful lot more. But Hazel came in to do a bit of an interview with us to talk about her history and dance, and also why she's come to start this, what we think is a really clever idea for the Scottish Dance Awards.
Absolutely.
Will we just get into it, Brian?
Just get into it, Stephen. Let's go.
We're here today with Hazel Allen. Hazel has come to visit us today to talk about the Scottish Dance Awards. There's a reason that we're talking about it as well, but first of all, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very good indeed, very good. I'd like you to tell us a little bit about the Scottish Dance Awards. We'll get into a lot more in the conversation, but just tell us a little bit about what you're setting out to achieve.
So the Scottish Dance Awards it was set up really to recognise and celebrate all of the work that's going on currently across Scotland within dance. So that includes dance schools, dance teachers, choreographers, students that are kind of coming on up through the dance world. And it's really to create a platform for all of these people and the work that they're doing, and to recognise that.
A platform's probably needed. I mean, we're in the kids' activity space with, as I said, kind of slight towards dance, but there's nothing like this here in Scotland. We're all over the UK, and there is across the UK, but there's not in Scotland.
Not in Scotland.
No?
I know. Do you know, that was where the kind of initial idea came from. So I had been at some similar events and awards for different industries, and it kind of got me thinking there is nothing like this for the dance world, particularly in Scotland.
Yeah.
And we've had such a great response since we've launched. You know, it's just showing that there is a gap for this, and there's a market for it, and people are needing that.
There's a vibrant dance community in Scotland. Obviously, we
Totally.
work with Louise, who you know as well, and I think she's got some involvement as well.
Yeah, she's sponsoring. Yeah, she's part of the awards.
And we're going to sponsor too.
Yeah, you
Yes.
are. You're going to be our headline sponsor.
We're going to be the headline sponsor of the Scottish Dance Awards. So there you go. I think it's probably people will have heard it already after this podcast comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are really happy to be involved in it. It's something that, again, at the end of last year when we came across what you were doing, I reached out to Louise as well and was going, "What's this?
What is this?
This is
Yeah.
interesting." It's like, it just needs done. We've been in Ireland in the last 2 or 3 weeks. There's several awards that happen across there. We're in touch with a number of people from England. Jasmine Hanlon being one who runs comps and events on a smaller scale right across the kind of England, but it's just not happened up here.
No.
So hats off to you for actually just claiming it.
Oh, and do you know, it feels like a real full circle moment having Class for Kids on board, because back when last year, when we were just kind of planning and thinking about how we were going to create and who we wanted to be involved, who we wanted to partner with, I wish I'd brought my notepad, because on my first page, when I was just thinking who would be a relevant person and who would be, you know, interesting to the room full of people that are going to be there, Class for Kids was the first name that
we need to see that notepad.
I will give you a receipt for that.
Okay.
Because And then it just kind of all came to fruition. I thought, yeah, I was right, because it's relevant. You work in the industry, you understand what all these dance schools are trying to do, and yeah, so it's a good fit.
It's more than that, actually, because we were just talking before we started recording, and there's a tenuous link to Class for Kids from you from back in your school days.
I know, that's right. So yeah, the founder I went to school with, and we kind of started. So I started my own dance school at the same time that he was
starting this
establishing
business.
Class for Kids.
That's just so weird.
And then also was my husband's tennis coach. So there's always a link, and that's what I see. See, the older I get, I see that coming back
I'm
around.
the same. Yep.
Always. And I think in the dance industry as well, what I imagine is going to happen in May is that room full of people when we all arrive for our drinks reception. Everyone will know everyone.
Absolutely.
And they will have worked together. They will have taught. They will have choreographed. They'll have a student that goes here and then there. And that's, something else that I want to create is that room where everyone can connect.
And that's what we want as well, you know. And it's kind of like creating these. We do it not just in the dance space, but we do it in the football space as well. We're trying to just bring communities together, and a lot of the time in doing so, it's like, oh, we knew each other already, or this happened there.
Yeah.
It's a very small world. And I'm talking
So
right across the UK.
Yeah.
I seem to have inserted myself into what I call the UK dance mafia,
Oh.
which is just like
Good.
all of the people that run the bigger events, like the Move It's and the Can You Dances, the Super Weekenders.
Yeah.
We have conversations and relationships with them all now, and obviously with yourself now as well. It's like everybody seems to know everybody else. We took Louise to Perform Ireland a few weeks ago, and she was like a celebrity there.
Yeah.
People were wanting selfies and all that with her, just random dance teachers stopping her. Oh, it's yourself. I wouldn't do the Irish accent. And just grabbing her for photos and things.
But I think, I feel like she's really inspired kind of this shift that I've seen more in the dance world. So see, back in the day, it used to be that dance schools were competitors, you know, and I feel like she's kind of demonstrating and building this community where we can all work together, be transparent and support each other. That maybe sounds a little bit cheesy, but that's something that I've been thinking about as I'm launching this. I want it to be something that's relevant to people and that's helpful and useful and gives them the recognition that everyone deserves.
Yeah, and again, hats off for even thinking about doing it. It's needed. It's needed, especially here.
Yeah.
So you're obviously got a background in dance.
I do.
When did that start? Give me your journey.
My journey. So I have been working in dance and education for over 2 decades now, actually, which makes me feel extremely old. But I trained and performed as a professional dancer for about 10 years, which was amazing, the absolute dream. And then when my performing days kind of came to an end, when I was too old to do that, I opened my own dance school, which was great. And I feel as though I should say, for disclosure, that my own dance school will not be partaking in the awards because it feels a slight conflict of
that would
interest.
have been, a bit nepotism.
It would be just slightly.
They're competing under a different name, though, aren't they?
Exactly, that's it, wink. So my dance school's been running for the past 10 years, which has been great. And then just the past couple of years, I've started to kind of look at running the dance school a bit more like a business and how to make it sustainable and what we can kind of implement for that. And then that's where the idea of the dance awards kind of came together. I also, over those sort of 10 years while I was running the school, I trained as a primary school teacher and a secondary dance teacher, and I did my master's at the Conservatoire for Learning and Teaching in the Performing Arts. So, but the reason I'm saying that is because I've always really had an interest in how children learn and develop and thrive. So I have this real interest, obviously, in dance and the arts, but also in education.
Yeah.
And it gives me such a holistic view of what good dance practice looks like. And I feel that has benefited all of my work over the past 10 years, 20 years, which, has just gives me a good view of everything.
What is your dance school called?
It is Glasgow Dance Academy.
Cool. Give that a shout
Give
out.
it a plug.
Yeah. And that's been going for 10 years then?
10 years, yeah. This is our 10th year now. So we've just opened location number 4 last year, which is going really well. And I love it. But things are changing all the time, and my role changes within that. So you go from your first year when you're opening, you're running everything, teaching everything, marketing everything, all of the admin, all of that. And then as that grows, you actually move away from what
I was going to say, I hope that you move away from what the passion
was. I know, like the kind of creative side of things, and it becomes more you're doing the sort of the day-to-day.
That's it. I mean, we discussed this a little bit as well just through the office, but that's kind of thing what we bring. We do give people back
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
You give them back the time. We're discussing AI and things and how that
Yeah.
can benefit, but it's the same with us. It's what the system can give back is the time. But it sounds like you were exactly like we've got kind of personas, right? You do, unfortunately, not to pigeonhole people, but you actually fit the persona that you were somebody that was passionate about dance. You had a career in dance.
Yeah.
You started your school, and then eventually it got well. It's not getting too much, but you're having to rely on different systems and things like that.
Yeah, and anything that can streamline that.
Anything.
Like, that is what I was saying to you, like Class for Kids and having a system and a process in place that can be working while you're sleeping and is just, like you say, gives you the time back and just automates everything.
We never go to commercial on this podcast, but we're going to steal that time back while you're sleeping, Brian. We'll need to snip that. That's there you go. That's the next adverts, I think.
Go for that.
So when is it? You said it's in a few months. Give us the actual date.
Yeah, so 18th of May is the night of the awards.
Yep.
And it is a black tie event.
Ooh.
So I wanted the event to feel really special because I want it to be a celebration. I want the people who attend to feel like even just being in that room, you're a winner. That sounds so cheesy. But
No, okay, yeah.
it's true. I think even if you are applying for these awards, I think what that says is that you are recognising the work you are doing has value. And so being in that room together with like-minded people, having a good time, having some drinks, some dinner. There's going to be entertainment throughout the night as well. So Scottish Institute are sponsoring as well, and their dance students are coming to perform throughout the evening. There'll be the awards presentation. And yeah, then there'll be a big after party, which should
I
be
think
fun.
that we're going to bring this along, aren't we, as well?
You're going to bring this along, I
Gonna
know.
bring the
Yeah,
podcast along.
and that's as well. So there'll be like a photographer, videographer. There'll be some content which all of the attendees can use and to promote themselves and to almost drive more business and give a bit of a boost because there's very little support out there.
I like the way that it's about thinking yourself, going back to the dance school as a business. You definitely get the business mindset.
Well, now I do. Thanks.
But that's what I was going to get to. It's like, because you didn't at first.
No, you have to learn it.
Yeah. And I think that what Louise is doing, what you're doing with this, what we do as well, that's where there is and I'm going to say the word again, Brian, I'm going to say the word synergy.
Oh.
I'd really hate saying that. But there isn't any other word I can think that kind of, when we're working with people, we work with the people that have got the same kind of ethos as us. And it's very same. It's like, at the beginning, you might not know that you're a business. We're kind of here. First of all, before we sell Class for Kids, we really are about education and telling them you can get that passion back, you can get that time back, and this is across football and everything as well. It's not just dance, but that's where I think there's a good link in between what Louise does, what you're doing, what we're doing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very interesting event and partnership.
Yeah.
So people are at the event, they're leaving the event. How do you want people to have felt after and at the event that you put on?
Do you know, I really want this to be something that people see value in and see the impact of after the event. So yeah, the night will be a great time for everyone. But what I want is that recognition and that platform, and like I said, to kind of drive business to boost these schools, these teachers, these choreographers. I want people to feel seen, and I want them to feel recognised for the work that they're doing and appreciated.
Yeah.
You know,
and like you say, there'll be a number that walk in and go, oh, I know you, but there'll be a number that don't, and the people be leaving there with new friends, with new forged relationships, as always happens with these things.
Yeah.
So you're creating a community builder as well, which is, I mean, it's great. As I say, there's nothing in this space. We probably, like Class for Kids itself, might have in the past thought about doing stuff like this, but we're not well placed. It doesn't come well from us. It seems more of a commercial thing, you know. Class for Kids are putting on dance awards. Like, there's something going on there.
Yeah, it's like.
So we would much rather be partnering with yourself, which we absolutely are doing.
And I feel sometimes as well, I feel like the Scottish Dance Awards is something that's come about very quickly. And then other times I think, no, that's been over 20 years of work and training and educating that has built to this point where I feel well placed to put that on. And yeah, I hope I do it a good
Well,
service.
that's it. It's the 20 years it's been brewing, right? You might go, it's came along quickly. The light bulb went on fairly recently.
Yeah.
But then it was the reflection going, wait a minute.
And when I was thinking, there should be something like this for our industry when I was at these other events.
Yeah.
And that was, I saw, so both my sisters run businesses in completely different industries. And when I was at these things, I saw the impact that it had on these businesses when they were finalists or won, or just even in the same room, and the connections and the opportunities that came from it. And as I was thinking, there should be something like this for our industry, for dance in Scotland. And then I thought, well, I'm going to create that. So here we go.
I love that mentality.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, that would be a great way to end this, but I'm going to ask one more question.
Okay, yeah.
It's about dispelling myths and around dance. What myth would you like to dispel?
Do you know, I'm going to say something that maybe is not very popular, but actually I think it will probably
That's
be...
all right. That could be the clickbait part.
Okay.
Yeah. Say something really controversial,
Yeah,
right? And we'll
no,
have that right up top
that
front.
everyone will hate. No, because I think probably it'll be dance teachers and school owners that will be watching this, so hopefully they'll agree with me. But I think a myth that I hear, I heard it today, is that when you're working in the creative arts, or, you know, dance specifically, that you're only doing it because you love it.
Okay.
And I think that, well, yes, that is true most of the time. We do love it, and it usually comes from a passion or from a young age, and you've kind of been nurtured and brought up through that, either being a dancer, opening a dance school. But I think the reality and the less glamorous answer is that, like you say, you have to learn how to build it as a business and to thrive, to be sustainable. I've seen 4 dance schools close in the last year. And I wonder if, like you say, you don't have that business mindset, because you do get into it because you love it. But I think that can be quite limiting, and it just makes it unsustainable for these creative practitioners. So I think there needs to be a balance of both, and sometimes people can maybe feel a little bit guilt-tripped unless they say, oh, I just do it because I love it.
Yeah.
So it has to work both ways.
We do get ones that just love it.
Yeah.
And in fact, a number of the people that the event that we put on last year, and we were talking about them thinking about their business mindset and this, and they were like, I don't know, we're just a little school, and we've only got like 10 kids that come, and we charge them £3.
Yeah.
And
There's such a place for that
Yeah.
as well. Like, I was thinking, so something that was really important with the awards was to set it up so that it was inclusive. And I know that sounds maybe a little bit, you know, that doesn't make sense, because if you win an award, that's exclusive. So it's the opposite of that, which I understand. And a bit of competition is always healthy. But what I mean by that is, I wanted everyone to be represented. So I wanted the small dance school down the road, and I wanted the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland to be able to apply.
That's great, yeah.
Because I see, like, the dance landscape in Scotland I see it almost like a scaffolding where, you know, these smaller dance schools that you go to from the age of 3, you need them to be able to nurture and foster these children to come up through and have off you go to these bigger institutes. So I think
it's the same in football. It's the same when you've got. I'm not a football fan. Everybody that listens to this knows this at all.
You're a dance fan.
But I'm a bigger dance fan than I'm a football fan. But they've got their kind of the breeding grounds, you know, for the talent and things.
Yeah.
There's more of a structure. Now that you've brought this up, there's more of a structure with football. We've got scouts and things. Then it would appear in dance that you've just highlighted something interesting. When they're at these little £3 adolescent clubs.
Yeah.
They could be the conservatoire one day, you know, and there's a path to that right through.
And where are those stages? I mean, I think that's something that's done quite well in Scotland, that sort of mid-level. So, you know, as dance schools, every couple of years, you'd maybe have some students that want to sort of pursue that career, which is lovely. And I think that sort of you know, maybe they'll go off to do Scottish Ballet Associates or RCS Junior School, and they're really good at recognising the schools that they've come from and maintaining that relationship, so they have that kind of double, you know, and they need to go off into these bigger institutes where there's more offered, and that is the right thing to do. But it's nice for everyone to be represented.
I think that if you're having this as well, and you've got, as you say, you're appealing to everybody from the conservatoire to the smaller clubs. If they're all in the same room together, look at the community building there. You know, it's the great leveller almost. You know,
totally.
There's no kind of pomp or anything. It's like everybody in the room together.
Yeah.
And after a few drinks, see what happens.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Thank you so much for coming to the podcast. We
you're
cannot
welcome.
wait to be part of the awards.
I know,
the next
me
time
too.
we have a podcast like this with you, we'll probably be there.
Yeah,
we'll probably be grabbing you for 2, because that day I get you're going to be busy.
Be busy. I will be very, or maybe all my work will be done. I can just sit and have a drink.
That would be good.
That'd be lovely.
That's what I would aim for if I was you, because then we
Okay.
could sit
I'll
and
see you
have
at the bar.
a wee chat. I'll see you at the bar. But thank you so much, Hazel, and we look forward to see you in May.
Thank you.
Sunday.
May
18th,
The
Scottish
Dance
Awards.
Yes.
We did not even plan that, but that's it. Sunday, May 18th, the Scottish Dance Awards. We're going to be there. I'm not even sure if there's tickets left for you guys to come along, but if there is, we'll put the link in the description of
Yeah.
this podcast.
Yeah.
But it's going to be really good to be in. I was going to say in bed with them, but it's a bit weird. You don't really say that.
Nah, it's a bit weird.
But in business with
In
them.
business. Good pals in business, because we're going to be there. We'll be rocking up, representing Class for Kids. Obviously, the Dance Awards will be happening, so it'll be a big good event, a nice big gala. Don't know if it's an actual gala, but I like to say gala.
We're going to take a bit of this down. I think we're going to take the podcast on
Take a bit
tour.
of this.
We say on tour, and it's probably about the shortest tour we'll ever do, because the hotel that it's happening in, the Radisson Blue, it's about 5 minutes that way.
Yep.
Which is great for us, because usually we're having to travel. Brian's having to take all sorts of kit. By the way, a suitcase is with Jack that needs to be delivered back to you.
All right, I do.
It'll come back. Yeah, we usually travel with loads of kit, but now we can just go around the corner, just relax, and hang out with these guys at Scottish Dance Awards.
Absolutely. It'll be good. I think it'll be a good night. Just we don't often get invited to awards ceremonies from people who we are in bed with.
In bed with, see? It is a business term.
It is a business term, absolutely. So that'll be nice to go down and just kind of like see everything as it unfolds.
Yeah.
The big fancy events. I'm looking forward to that.
And the venue is great. Seema, our partnerships manager, actually got married there. So,
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
It'll be
know
like
that.
it'll be like a second wedding for her.
Trip down memory lane.
Trip down memory lane. But delighted to be sponsoring the Scottish Dance Awards, and I'm sure you'll hear loads more about it in our socials in the next coming weeks. And thanks so much for Hazel for coming on. And we've just got one thing left to do, Brian.
Yep.
You going to do it with me this time?
Aye, let's
Okay.
go.
1, 2, 3.
Bye.
Oh, I need some enthusiasm.